What is going on, everyone? Leon checking in, and here we are with a physical comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold6 and the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold4. Now, I wanted to do this comparison if you're using a device like the Z Fold5, Z Fold4 that we have here, or older, and you want to know how different that is compared to the Z Fold6. So the first thing you're going to notice, or what I noticed here, are the edges. The Z Fold6, the edges are more squared off. Personally, I love this a lot more than what we have on previous generations where the edges are rounded off. I think this makes the Z Fold6 look a little bit bigger in itself, even though it is a little bit wider. But just having those squared off edges, it just makes it look bigger overall anyways. The other thing I did notice here is because these edges are squared off more on the Z Fold6, although the bezels look about the same thickness, when you quickly look at it, the bezels look just different on the Z Fold6 just because the edges are squared off. I think it gives the illusion that maybe these bezels look a little bit slimmer. I don't know if they actually are, but just looking at the device from the side seems to give that illusion off. And I'm going to try to hold here at the side, and I'm sure it's also a combination of the device thickness, because the Z Fold6 is thinner. It's going to be thinner than previous generations as well, so that's going to help reinforce that illusion. And continuing on with that, again, we do have the device thickness, so it may be hard to tell on camera, but the Z Fold6 does look a little bit thinner. I would say it's not a dramatic difference, but it does look slightly thinner there. And then we have hinge fold-in performance. Now, I haven't tried this myself, so we're going to run through it. This has pretty good resistance. This is the Z Fold4. And also just keep in mind that I've been using this device for a while, so I've been folding and unfolding it. When it comes to the Z Fold6, it feels a little more springy, but it could be because it's newer. So I'm not really sure. Maybe it's got to wear in a little more. But I don't know if you initially seen, it did kind of kick back a little. And I'm not sure if the Z Fold4 does that. Maybe I just never noticed. So this doesn't kick back. You know, when I go to push it, it doesn't have like as much springy action. It has a small bit, but not a lot. With the Z Fold6, when you go to unfold it, it springs a little more. It takes less effort to open the main display. So that's interesting. Next, I wanted to try closing the device, see how it sounds. So that's like a faint click for the Z Fold6 and Z Fold4. Z Fold4, it sounds a bit more heavier. It's a little bit louder. It's a little bit more pronounced when you close it. Let me try the Z Fold6 here again. So the Z Fold6, it's more clicky, and this is more like a thump. So that's like a thump, and Z Fold6 is more like a click. So just something interesting I wanted to point out here. And then we do have the hinge. Now, I know people have been saying that the hinge seems slimmer, and it certainly is. It's noticeably slimmer. The other thing is too, I think people have been saying the hinge is more tucked in. That may be hard to see on camera. I'm going to see if I can get it at an angle here where you might be able to see. But the hinge is definitely more tucked in on the Z Fold6. And then here you can also get an idea of the device thickness. The Z Fold6, it does seem to fold thinner, and that would make sense because it's overall thinner. But just the way that it's folded too, you can see that the Z Fold4 kind of has a gap in the middle there. The Z Fold6, it closes with less of a gap. So that's going to make it feel thinner as well. And then we're going to have the rear of the device. And this is what I really love about the Z Fold6. First, I love the carbon fiber accent here. It kind of looks like a carbon fiber accent, a faux carbon fiber. I think that really looks nice. Unfortunately, I pointed out in a previous video that I will be throwing a case on the Z Fold 6. I put cases on all my folds because they're such delicate devices. But if you don't rock a case, this looks really good. I'm going to pick it up here. I'm going to see if I could just kind of show that faux carbon fiber accent. And if I read correctly, this was an online store exclusive, which I didn't even know I ordered accidentally. But you can see that the Z Fold 4, it's just plain black, flat black, nothing special. I mean, it gets the job done, but I do like the way that faux carbon fiber accent looks. Now, I will say what's interesting here, Z Fold 4, we've got our camera LED there. I think for the Z Fold 5, it was moved to where it is on the Z Fold 6 now. But if you have like a Z Fold 4, that LED's moving, and I like that. Because whenever I would take the Z Fold 4 out with me, I would naturally hold it like this, going outside, and I would cover up the LED when it's dark out. And obviously, you can't use the flashlight when you're doing that because you're covering up the flashlight. So this is a better location because you'll be able to use the flashlight better at night. And then moving on to the camera module. It looks about the same size, but for some reason, and this is probably to do with the lenses definitely have gained weight, the lens bezels, I would say. So the camera module looks chunkier on the Z Fold 6. I do think that it gives it more of a performance look, a performance aesthetic to it, just because those bezels look thicker, and it kind of emphasizes that these are good cameras just because they look bigger. But camera quality is about the same. It should remain the same unless we've got software changes that will be incorporated there. And then moving on to the front. Again, I like the way the Z Fold 6 looks, but what I just noticed is if you're not going to be using a case, Z Fold 6 might have a problem here. So Z Fold 4, it rocks a little, it's a little tippy. But Z Fold 6, it's not only tippy, but it kind of like sits at an angle. So that's a little weird. Just something I noticed there. But again, I really like the squared off edges. It just looks cleaner. It just looks better. It's just a better aesthetic. And I also want to talk about the port on the bottom, the USB-C port, and the speaker. The speaker on the Z Fold 6 looks a bit more minimal, whereas on the Z Fold 4 you've got all these different holes. I wonder if that continues at the top here. So more minimal on the Z Fold 6 here. And I think that's kind of the emphasis here, is to streamline the Z Fold 6, make it cleaner cut. Makes sense, we got clean cut edges. Minimalize the phone here, just give a cleaner presentation. So let's take a look at the side key and the volume rocker. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some changes here. Looks almost similar. It looks like the side key is a little slimmer. Looks like our SIM tray is going to be about the same size. We've got the lines here on the side of the device about in the same location. I do like the Z Fold 6 though more. I love the side rails. I love that it's not as shiny. It's more like a flat black, a grayish black. So as for when you open these up, it does feel like the Z Fold 4 sits flat, but it actually does lean a little bit. It's just so little that you barely notice it compared to the Z Fold 6. And if you press on these, you know, you feel like the rocking is about the same, surprisingly. You would think that the Z Fold 6 would rock a little more since it seems to lean at an angle that way. But one thing I almost forgot to mention here is the crease. Now, I am not going to lie here, the crease on the Z Fold 6 still noticeable, but I will say it is less noticeable than what we have on the Z Fold 4. So I'm going to try to demonstrate this in the light here. Hopefully you can tell, but it is less noticeable. It's still there, you can see it, but you can't see it as much. So anyways, that is it for today's content. I just wanted to do a brief comparison for those who may have a Z Fold 5 or earlier generation and they want to know what the physical differences may be compared to the Z Fold 6. So I think just going on the physical appearance itself, The Z Fold 6 just looks a lot better. It looks more redefined. It looks more simple. It looks cleaner, more clean cut. Again, makes sense. We've got those cornered edges. So for me, that's a good enough reason to upgrade here if you have an older device, or if you are really into tech and you have a later device, but you want something that feels a little bit different. It's a little more minimal, looks cleaner. The Z Fold 6 looks like it's going to do it for me. So that is it for today's content. As always, thanks for watching, and may the universe flow in your favor. And until next time, Leon checking out.
You